Hello and welcome to the Extra Guys. I'm John, and this is Raiden 4. Raiden 4, technically it's Raiden 4 Overkill. Raiden 4 Overkill is a PC remake of an Xbox 360 game named, well, Raiden 4 Overkill. Came to Steam, and that's where I'm playing. I'm playing it on Steam. I picked it up on sale, on the Christmas sale. It cost, I think, $2.99. It's a great value. So, this includes several classic modes. First off, if you don't know what Raiden is a vertically scrolling shmup. It's been around for forever, since the 80s. Great game. Very difficult. This game is hard as nails. Very difficult. So, you've got Overkill mode. This is the new mode in the game, and this is the headliner. The big deal here is when enemies die, when large enemies die, they persist for a moment, and the more damage you can deal to them, the bigger your score gets. I have not played additional mode yet. I think it's just a revision of the arcade mode. There's a score attack mode, and there's the classic arcade mode. You got your rankings, your options, you can save replays, which is neat. We're going to see that in a minute. That's where you see my gameplay. So, again, this game is really difficult. Even when you play it on the easy settings, it's hard. I'm playing it on normal. I have not cleared the game yet. I've tried. I've put 6 hours into the game and I haven't cleared it yet. It's that hard. And I'd like to think that I'm not super bad at these kind of games. I think I'm worse than I thought I was, though. Like I said, the game's very difficult. So without further ado, let's take a look at some replays. Now, I've taken 3 different replays, one with each ship. There's 3 ships you can choose from. So let's start with the default ship. If the recording's a bit slow, I apologize. Seems to be a artifact with the replay thing. This is running much better than my test earlier, though. So, this is your default ship. I forget the name of it. It's called the Lightning or something like that. I don't know. This is a well-rounded ship that moves quickly. Its weapons are generally powerful. That red orb right there, which changed to blue, that's your weapons power-ups. There's 3 of them. The red power-up is like a spread shot of bullets. The blue power-up, as you can see, is a laser. The purple power-up is like a homing beam. That letter I just picked up, that is missiles. So M is a standard dumbfire missile. R is a radar-guided missile, which homes into things in front of you. And H is a, well, technically it's called homing, but they spray out in a fan around you and hit everything around you. Now, there's a lot going on. It's impossible to keep up with this. Most of the items I'm picking up are just for score. The green dots, the over level 2, that's part of the overkill mechanic. That fairy that you see right there that I just picked up, when you die, it drops an extra weapon power up. Makes it easier when you die to bounce back. So when I was at this point of the game, I preferred keeping the blue laser. The blue laser does a lot of direct damage, and there's no wait in the fire time. I think it might actually be better just to use the regular spread shot all the time and move close if you're good. I'm not that good yet. I tend to just use the blue laser a lot. Now, I've made it farther than this high score run, but I didn't save the recording. And I could have finished the game if I used continues, but I'm trying to not use continues. I'm trying to just stick with doing a 1 credit kind of thing, but really I ought to just try to finish it first. Anyways, this is the first boss. As you can see, he's pretty easy. He's got some pretty predictable bullet patterns. Raiden is known, it's not a bullet hell game really, but it's known for having tricky bullet patterns that are fast, not necessarily screen filling, but very quick. So that's the first boss. He's dead. Tally up our score. Yeah, we didn't do half bad. Now, I'd like to commentate my games live, but this game is just, I mean, look at all this crap going on. There's no way I could commentate this live. So that's why we're opting to go with the recordings instead. Yeah, so there I just burned a bomb. Now, bombs on this ship, they're different for every ship. On this ship, they just blow up instantly and they clear all the enemies. They do a lot of damage to all the enemies on screen. And they clear all the bullets from the screen, which is the big thing. I use them defensively, typically. So there's good enemy variety here. Like I said, the game's challenging. You've got to pay attention to what's going on, or you will, and see, just like right there. And you'll see here that the fairy, it's kind of hard to tell, but she drops an extra set of weapons there. And I accidentally picked up the purple weapon, so you get to look at it. Now, I don't like using this weapon that much. It's neat in that it homes in. You can see how it curves around. And when there's multiple enemies, it hits all of them. But it's not very powerful. This is the maximum power of it, I believe. And it just, it's not that good. It's good for when you've got, let's see, it goes crazy here because there's lots of small enemies on screen. But other weapons do this pretty effectively. I don't feel like it's that necessary. I just don't like the weapon that much, so I'll switch back to the blue laser. Now, the key to doing well in a shooter like this is you've got to pay attention to your ship. The game tries to trick you away from that with all the flashy colors and explosions and how good everything looks. But that's why there's a replay function. You can't pay attention to what's going on around you. You gotta watch your ship. Because you'll see in a second, I mean, just bullets are going everywhere, and there's no way you could dodge it all if you were watching where the beam was going. You have to watch your ship. Your beam will hit what it needs to hit. In Raiden in particular, this game, you can't go rushing out to grab power-ups. So that's a good way to get yourself killed. You'll notice I'm letting that missile power-up just kind of hover out there. And there's a reason for that. I get tired of messing around with it there. Now, I believe and you'll see here, like I've got that blue lightning bolt around me, and when I fire, I let off a huge salvo of missiles. So, the first section of the boss is not too hard. The second part is two separate parts of the boss, this is also not that difficult. I usually concentrate on one, and switch to the other. I've gotten a sticky spot there, and luckily I had that bomb ready. Now this is tricky. I haven't learned this bullet pattern yet, so I just burn a bomb here. Alright, and level 2 is complete. On to level 3. Now, the music in this game is incredible. It's remixed versions. I believe it's just remixed version of the original. Level 3 in particular, I love the music in this stage. God, that's mean. Crunchy. This level takes place on a dock, and there's tons of these battleship-looking things. They're just ships all over the place, and my god, there are bullets everywhere. This stage is so challenging. There's a reason this is where the playback ends. Yep, there we go. And you see, when the Vulcan is fully upgraded, you only saw it for a moment before I died. When the Vulcan is full power, it clears the entire screen like in a fan. It goes in a big fan, so it does a good job. Next up, you're going to see a replay of the Raiden ship at work. So let's get that pulled up. Now this is the classic ship from older Raiden games. Now the Raiden ship, it's just the Raiden. It's slow. It's very slow to move side to side and forward and back, but the weapons are a lot more powerful than your default ship. Now, I kind of like this in some ways. Typically, you don't need to make big sweeping movements from side to side. You're typically making small, minute adjustments to move between bullet patterns. And it's good for that. You know, when you have a ship that's too responsive, sometimes you can have an issue with that, and you'll see that with the next ship that we play. But the Raiden is very powerful. It is better on the Raiden to use the standard bullets, I think, because of how much extra damage they deal. If you can get up close, and I attempted a few times, if you can get up close and let them and just rail into them from point blank, these machine guns really do a lot of damage. Now, you'll see me use it a few times. The bomb on the Raiden works a little differently than the other ship. instead of just clearing the entire screen, it shoots to the ground, it takes a moment to land, and then it leaves, in about a quarter of the screen, there'll be an explosion, and it deals an absolute ridiculous amount of damage. I typically use it to clear bosses quickly. The Raiden is definitely a more offensive ship than the default ship. But, like I said, you can't use the bomb to clear up your mistakes and fix bullet patterns. So you have to pay a lot more attention. There's a lot more damage, kills things a lot more quickly. You'll see that I killed it there with the bullets as quickly as almost as quickly as I killed it with the laser on the previous ship. You lose some accuracy. I have some trouble getting to the turrets on the side of the boss. Alright. Figured out. Very similar score to my previous run. Like I said, the Raiden is a good ship. I think once I get used to it, this will be my preferred ship in this game. And you may can get a little bit of a spoiler here and see on the right side of the screen. I didn't make it past stage 2. I mess up and take the wrong weapon, and I just die. So the stages are the same every time. This is a game of, there's that missile that I was talking about, the bomb that I let off, and I accidentally take the laser here. And the laser is fine, but the problem is you kind of need to sweep it quickly from side to side. That's the strength of the laser. And the default ship's good at that. The Raiden is too slow. So this is, in my opinion for the Raiden, this is a weaker weapon than your standard machine gun. I'll still dodge quite a bit of this. This is very difficult. Okay, that's just... And see, I shoot a bomb to try to compensate. And you can hear it, and it just takes forever to land. You see I get close to it, look how quickly that overdrive charge, that overkill gauge charges. It's just incredible how quickly this thing deals damage with those guns. And you see I accidentally took the laser here again, which results in a swift death. So next up, we'll take a look at the final ship. The ferry. Now the ferry, I don't know if you can really call this a ship, but hey, it's something you can fly. Now the ferry is fast, very quick, moves very quickly from one side of the screen to the other. I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. I have trouble controlling her myself. She's so fast, and she's small, so it's hard to keep an eye on her with so much stuff going on around her. Even though she looks smaller, her hitbox is the same size as the other ships. And I don't really know where her weapon power falls. It feels like it's basically as strong as the default ship. I tend to keep her on this. Her weapons are very different from everyone else's. Her red gun is this. Her blue laser shoots in bursts instead of in a straight line. It's terrible. Deals really bad damage. And the purple weapon for her, I wish I'd have picked it up on this playthrough, is a bunch of bubbles? It's hard to describe. She just lets out tons of bubbles, and maybe that's the best weapon for her. I really don't know. Because if you hold down the button and just sweep side to side, you fill the screen with these pink bubbles. It seems like it's pretty effective. I don't know. So here the ferry picks up a ferry, and her bomb's funny. A swarm of ferries comes from the bottom of the screen. Yeah, see, there's the laser. See, it shoots in bursts. It's bad, so I don't keep it long. Down again. Again, it's hard to keep up with her. You'll see that her missiles are, in this case, her radar missiles are leaves. Her regular M missiles, the one I typically use, are like flower pods or something. Some kind of flower that flies forward. And I don't think I've tried homing missiles, but I think they're leaves, just like this. She seems like she'd be a very powerful character in the right hands, but her weapons are radically different from the other ships. You can see how much longer it takes her Vulcan cannon to clear the boss. Her weapons are definitely a bit weaker. I get brave and get up a little close there. But her shots do cover the screen much faster than other characters do, it seems, so I don't know, seems like it does a lot of damage. Seems like it'd be good for clearing multitudes of enemies out. And there's stage 1 cleared again. Now again, I've put a good 6 hours into this game. So, I'm pretty familiar with stage 1. Stage 2 I'm pretty familiar with. Stage 3 I probably need to go farm on and run out. Or see, look, it just clears the entire screen. So I think that's a great weapon to use for basically any of the ships to clear levels. And my strategy in the past has been to use the red cannon until I get to the boss and then switch to the blue laser. But I'm starting to think maybe I should just stick with red cannon. I don't know. If anyone knows, leave a comment, please tell me, because I am a newcomer to the game. I don't really know. So this is a pretty short-lived attempt. I do pretty well for the first few minutes. Like her speed really helps get around all these bullets. And that was just pure luck. I dodged that. And then I make a fluke here. And the run goes sour. And thus ends the ferry. Raiden 4 is a really fun game. Raiden 4 Overkill, I should say, is a really fun game. I don't know how well it played on the Xbox 360, but it definitely plays good on PC. Lots of fun. There's a lock mode too. I don't know what that is. I'll have to let you know when I find out. Once again, we're the Extra Guys. I'm John. There's two other guys, Jeremy and Max. We have a podcast. You can check it out on iTunes and Soundcloud. And please, if you liked the video, like, if you would, subscribe. Leave us comments. Let us know what you think. If there's a certain game you'd like to see us play, please let us know. So, for the Extra Guys, this is John, signing out.